Bonjour tout le monde. Wanted to start today's video really quickly by going through where you can find information about assignments you might have missed. I do have a good number of zeros in the gradebook and just wanted to make sure you all know where you go to find your assignments. So I sent you a welcome video at the very beginning of our course, so I'm not going to walk through everything, but if you want more information, of course, go back and watch that. However, what I wanted to show you today was when you open up our This Week folder, remember that's what you do to get to everything we're doing in a given week. So the Cette Semaine folder, and you go to any of the days and take a look at our slides, les diapos de la semaine, our slides. I will always have this announcements and reminders section. Obviously, we'll get to a point where there will be too many items for me to list here, but for now, since we're still pretty early on, these are all the items that you should have turned in by now that are in the grade book. I don't have your grades in for your flip grid from last week, but that's coming soon. So everything else though is in the grade book, and unless you have some kind of extenuating circumstance, you have a 0 if you haven't turned something in yet. So you may still turn it in. I basically will take anything up until the quarter. So the quarter ends on October 14th. So up until then, you have you can turn in whatever late. But unfortunately, I won't be able to take it after October 14th. So anyway, the bottom line is stay on top of things and you won't need to worry about that anyway. Another place where you can see what you might be missing is if you go to PowerSchool. Now your setup is not going to look exactly like this, but I wanted to show you my setup in a way that wouldn't show people's grades, obviously. So over here, you have the name of an assignment. The assignment's name is always going to be followed by what week it was assigned. And in some cases, the day on which it was assigned. So you can go back to week 2 and find the discussion for this day in history. You can go back to week 1, the jeudi folder, and find the assignment with the Edpuzzle link. So if you're ever in doubt about where to find something that you might be missing, you can always find it in the name of the assignment itself. So again, you have a couple places that you can go to find items you might be missing. And if you have any further questions, of course, always just ask me. But now let's go ahead and take a look at aujourd'hui, c'est jeudi. Aujourd'hui, c'est jeudi, le 8 octobre. I just said octobre. I meant septembre. Aujourd'hui, c'est jeudi, le 8 septembre. Aujourd'hui, c'est jeudi. Donc, hier, c'était mercredi. Et demain, c'est vendredi. We're going to start with aujourd'hui dans l'histoire, this day in history, which actually is not a thing that happened on the actual day today. I also messed up the date. Oops. Jeudi le 8 septembre. When we look at this, this is just a le saviez-vous, did you know? So sometimes we'll have like a random fact or some kind of information if we didn't have something particularly interesting that happened that we knew of on that particular date. So, aujourd'hui, c'est jeudi le 8 septembre. Le saviez-vous? Le saviez-vous? Un ours polaire. Un ours polaire peut sentir des phoques d'une distance d'1 000. Un ours polaire peut sentir une phoque, des phoques, d'une distance d'1 000. Wow. So they can smell seals from a mile away. Pretty impressive. So given what we just talked about where I was pointing, etc., what is un ours polaire en anglais? And then there's a video here that I want you to watch. It's in French, but you don't need to necessarily understand the French to see what's going on. The visuals will give you enough information. It's not about France or any French-speaking place. It's actually about a place in Russia that's having a bit of an issue with polar bears right now. So watch it, listen, maybe you'll be able to pull out a word here or there, but just see if you can get the main idea. Okay, you will hear the word ours polaire. Okay, la chanson de la semaine. Oh, désolé. Remember, when you do these, when you answer these questions, you're going to be going into Schoology, into the jeudi folder, and that's where you're going to find that discussion. Okay. Also, up until the day that things are due, of course, they also appear over here on the upcoming section. So that should help too. Okay, bon. Maintenant, la chanson de la semaine. Janvier, février, mars, avril. How you doing with those months? Hopefully pretty well. Two other things that you have to do today. One is la personne spéciale. So yesterday, you hopefully watched the interview video where I was asking my daughter these questions, copied down our write and discuss about Victoria. Aujourd'hui, today, il y a un interro. You're going to take a quiz on Victoria. You do not need to remember anything about her. That is not what this is. This is, do you understand what I am saying? So you have this paragraph right in front of you while you're taking the quiz. And I do, honors system obviously, but if you've translated it already, please don't use the translation. I want you to try to use this with just the French in front of you. The translation probably wouldn't help that much anyway, because just like our branche ou crocodile, the wildebeest quiz that you had last week, this is a listening quiz. So I'll be making vrai ou faux, true or false statements about this paragraph, and you'll have to say whether those statements are vrai ou faux. If you haven't taken the wildebeest quiz from last week, you can expect that same format for it. Okay, so you'll be taking this quiz today. Basically, all you have to do is hit the play button. You don't necessarily need to see me giving the quiz. If you want to, you can, or you can just keep it right here so that you can read this very easily. And then you will need to use your exit quiz form on Schoology. So what you'll do is go to exit quiz form. And there you will see listening quiz de personne spéciale Victoria. Okay, so you'll click on that, you'll answer the questions, and then you will do the vrai ou faux part. Should be pretty simple, don't overthink those. And then when you are finished with that, one other thing that I need you to do today, and that is to sign up for our Quizlet class and start practicing. So if you go, once again, to Schoology, you will see Quizlet vocab review. So when you click on that button, it's going to take you to Quizlet. And I believe, see, I'm already enrolled, so it didn't do quite the same thing for me as it will for you. But when you click that button, I believe it will automatically take you to a place to enroll in our class. And once you're part of our class, you will have access to these different study sets. So I want you to do your best to take some time, study them. As we continue learning things like our songs, where we learned, move this over so you can see better. Okay, so we learned les mois, the months, from our song this week. Les saisons, the seasons, we didn't learn in the song. However, a couple of them are pretty easy. Well, actually, one of them is very easy. L'automne looks just like autumn. The other, there are only three others, so you can learn those just from the flashcards. Les jours de la semaine, the days of the week. We talked about that last week with our song. French question words. This is something that I'm using in my videos oftentimes when I'm trying to ask you questions for understanding. And then muzzy. So this you can do, but it's not as connected to what I need you to know for this class as the rest are. Branche ou crocodile, most of what we learned in Branche ou crocodile is in this study set, or in fact, all of it is rather, but there is additional vocab that comes from this other story called Le Tigre qui parle, the talking tiger, which we're going to get into pretty soon. So they're similar stories. You might not recognize all the vocab yet since we haven't gotten to this one yet, but it's only 13 terms, so you can handle it. Bottom line, the more you work on this vocab, the more you're going to have to work with when we do our quick writes, the easier it's going to be for you to complete our listening quizzes, etc., etc. So definitely some memorization involved here, but it will go to good use. Okay, this is kind of long today. If you made it this far, merci. If you have any questions for me, I will be on the Meet tomorrow from 11:30. No, sorry, today. You're watching this today. I'm filming it the day before. So I will be on the Meet today from 11:30 to 12. So feel free to jump in if you have any questions. Au revoir tout le monde.